So what is breast cancer and who is at risk? State Farm Insurance recently started its Celebrate My Drive event, but what exactly is it? So what exactly is it like to represent the state of Florida?
To define breast cancer essentially, simplistically, is a collection of abnormal malignant cells in the breast tissue. Now, usually there are two to three different types of tissues in the breast. Of course, there's glandular tissue, there's ductal tissue, and there's essentially adipose tissue. And cancers can arise from all three. At this time that I know of, there are no good studies to show that stress would increase your chances of breast cancer. However, I do know that lower socioeconomic groups usually have a higher incidence of breast cancer more than the higher socioeconomic groups. Thus, one can infer that there's a higher stress level in the lower socioeconomic groups, which would also say that there might be a link between stress and breast cancer. Some things you might be able to accomplish to decrease your risk of breast cancer would be: one, breastfeeding. Breastfeeding after childbirth for over a year can reduce your chances of breast cancer. Exercise can also reduce your risk of breast cancer. There are hormonal therapies after you go through menopause that can increase your chances of breast cancer. Thus, if you take an estrogen and progesterone after menopause, this will also increase your risk of breast cancer.
Doctors are working hard to combat this deadly disease, but you can help. To learn more about breast cancer, please visit bcrfcure.org. I'm James Elliott reporting for Argo News.
Celebrate My Drive is a State Farm-oriented project that is nationwide, and it's a way to help teenagers realize the importance of driving safely. It's unfortunate that the #1 cause of teenage death is car accidents, and especially in that first year of driving, it's really important that we open their eyes to the importance of keeping your eyes on the road and keeping two hands on the wheel. This event came about by State Farm really wanting to engage teenage drivers in the practice of safe driving. It happened about 3 years ago, and State Farm felt like if we could start a competition amongst high schools, it would be a great way to really bring awareness to safe driving amongst young drivers. There's about 1,000 schools nationwide that participate in this event. The school can, if they win, can earn up to a $100,000 grant for their school to go towards whatever the school wants to. Also, the benefit is teens are going to be driving more safely. It's a way to protect the community and also promote awareness to the students and also help their school out. Also, the school that wins gets a concert by the band Perry, which is awesome for the kids, and it's a huge encouragement for them to be involved.
Free concert for the band Perry to come to your school just to stay safe? Well, that should be enough motivation for anybody. To learn more about this event, please visit www.celebratemydrive.com. I'm James Elliott reporting for Argo News.
This season, it's going to be interesting because we are following up from a winning season with the district. We came out of district last year as district runner-ups. First time in Tate High School history. So we kind of came out of the woodworks and nobody expected it. So this year, the interesting part of that is I have 3 returning players, which is basically my core players. And I received a transfer kid from Missouri, she's out of sight. Amazing player. So we'll see if we can repeat and do as well as we did last year. So these kids have never stopped playing tennis. Last year, we got on the bus after Niceville had beat us at regionals. And most of the time as a coach, you expect kids to be upset and tore down and crying. Not these girls. They pulled me to the back of the bus and they said, "Coach, are you ready to do it again? We're ready to work." And so all of them got involved with Roger Scott's junior tennis program, and they've been swinging a racket since season ended last year, and they're still swinging today. So in that aspect, I don't see them getting beat too much because they're still hitting and they didn't lose any skill.
It looks like the Aggies are more than ready to get that state title. I'm James Elliott reporting for Argo News.
So a typical day at the Capitol during the legislative session usually starts, the first official meeting might be at 8 or 8:30. And so obviously you want to maximize your time. And so if you can squeeze in a breakfast meeting, with an interest group or a lobbyist or someone from home, a constituent that's over to visit, that's a good time to do that at breakfast time. Then you would go to your first committee meeting, and they're typically an hour and a half to 2.5 hours long. And so that's a place where you're stationary, focused on one bit of subject matter. And then after that, you may have one more committee meeting before lunch. You may squeeze in a lunch meeting if you can. If not, just try to have something to sort of tide you over until dinner. But then in the afternoon is when typically in the middle part of session we would have the actual time when we're on the floor taking votes and debating bills, actually on the floor of the House. And so that would last most of the afternoon. If it's a particularly busy time, it would go into the evening. And then if it's a night where we're going to be doing a lot of business, they would bring dinner in. We would have dinner, between votes you could go and squeeze in something to eat and come back and continue to debate bills and that sort of thing. If not, then you would go and, maybe do some meetings in the evening depending on what bills you're working on, to try to prepare yourself for bills that you might have to present later or to get informed on bills that we're going to vote on. So they're pretty packed days as far as, almost every minute of your time is accounted for.
Representative Ingram sure did put that well. If you are that type of person that has a hard work ethic and determination, then maybe being a state representative is the job for you. I'm James Elliott reporting for Argo News.